So heading back up. Hopefully the water's boiling, get my coffee, eat my mountain house, and hopefully don't die from a heart attack climbing up the hill. Oh man, I need to work on my cardio. This is Switchpod, and I'm Peter Fasciano sitting in my tent. Let's take this thing outside and talk about it. Fits in my pocket. All right, let's get breakfast going and we'll go ahead and talk about this thing. So back in January of 2018, Caleb Wojcik and Pat Flynn started the Kickstarter program to launch the Switchpod. So what's special about this thing? Well, first of all, it's a minimal tripod for vloggers. Fits in your pocket, fits in your backpack. It's made of lightweight aluminum. I believe it can support up to about 100 pounds on this thing. I wouldn't test it for 100 pounds, but it says that it can on their website. They're marketing this thing as a minimal handheld tripod. One of the unique things about it is the shape. It has this nice pistol grip and it brings the camera up and away from you. So as you're holding this thing out, you're not bending your wrist in any way, and the camera is out far enough and high enough that it holds at a pretty good angle. And when you want to turn from vlog mode to tripod mode, it's a flip of the wrist and you set it down. When you're ready to vlog again, you just pick it up, flip it closed, and you're all set, ready to go. I've been watching some of the vlogs out there, and some people are saying, well, I'm not gonna get this because you're gonna introduce camera shake when you flip this thing open and when you flip it closed. Well, I know everybody has their own style when they're vlogging and when they're creating. And if it were me, in which it is, when I put this thing on vlog mode and flip it out to do tripod, it is going to introduce shake, but I'm gonna edit all that out. So I'll probably have like another camera angle that shows me in vlog mode. And then as I go to flip it, I'll just cut to another scene, flip it out, set it down, do my whole thing, and then when I'm all set, ready to go, I'll cut to that same angle as I pick it up and flip it closed, and then be on my way. So what else makes this, hold on, I need to zip out my tent. So what else makes this thing special? It's lightweight. It's made of lightweight aluminum, solid construction. It has this triangular shaped tripod screw that makes it really nice. You don't have to have any tools, or you don't have to fidget with, taking your fingernail or finger and digging in there and trying to get that latch out to tighten it down. Got plenty of grip on this thing, and it screws right down. It has magnets on the feet that hold it closed. Now, it doesn't hold it closed that great. I mean, you can turn this over and then it just flops open. But it's nice to hold it closed so as you're fidgeting with it or maneuvering your hand around, it doesn't shift around and it stays closed. One thing that I did notice as I was hiking around No Lake, and I'm setting this thing down in the rocks and the sand and I'm walking around the shoreline, I don't know if you can see it, but there are brown marks on the legs, and apparently there is metal up here in the rocks and in the dirt and the sand. So I noticed when I picked this thing up and closed it, I felt this grinding, and I looked down here and of course there was some metal shavings in here. So I just needed to clean it out and then get back to business. So as I was talking about the magnetic legs catching the dirt, so whenever you set this thing on the ground and pick it up, if you guys can see on those legs, there are definitely rocks. As you're vlogging and you're setting it down, as soon as you pick it up, you need to make sure that you just clear it off, fold it up, and get ready to go. Otherwise, as you're holding it and you hear it grinding back and forth, and it's just not a pleasant sound and it's not a pleasant feel. So just knock all the stuff off there, make sure you're good to go. And then whip it back together and you can go. All right, I'm out of here. The hand grooves are really nice. It's got this little padded top so it doesn't damage anything, and I think most tripods do. I took my Joby tripod and took the ball head off of it and put this on here, and there's this 1/4 20 thread up at the top that comes with the Joby. This does not come with it, so if you're going to put a ball head on it, make sure that you have that 1/4 20 thread. If you just have a normal tripod thread, any accessory will fit on top of this, so you should be good to go. And as far as magnets go, not only are there magnets on the bottom of this, but there's also magnets on the top, so when this thing does flip open, it will click open and the magnets will lock in place. The magnets aren't that strong. You can just flip it back and it breaks the seal, so to speak, of the magnet. So they're not super strong magnets, but they work. They do what they're supposed to do. Some other features to mention, they have some padded feet, so whenever you set this down, it's not going to scratch the surface, and it's going to give you some pretty good grip, so you don't have to worry about this thing sliding off of any of the surfaces that you put it on. But you do need to worry about it tipping over, and this is where some of the negatives come in. I took this thing out the other day and I was looking for some elk. I ran across some and I had to set this down on a tree stump, or I had to set it down on a tree stump that was laying horizontal, and I just could not quite get this balanced the correct way. But if you have the Joby tripod, it has those flexible legs and you can kind of maneuver it, but getting to that log and deploying this thing and setting it down was very quick. So what I ended up deciding to do, like I had already mentioned, I'm going to take my Joby ball head and put it on top of this, so I have a little bit of, the best of both worlds. If I get this thing set down, I can quickly adjust the ball head and I can get it to where I need it to go. A couple of other features to mention about this is the weight. Since it is lightweight aluminum, it comes in at 11.1 ounces, 315 grams, and it's definitely noticeable. I have the Canon M50 and it's a pretty lightweight camera, but when you throw the Sigma 18-35 on there, it weights it down pretty good. And when you're holding this thing out in front of you for 10-15 minutes, there's a little bit of a weight and it pulls on your arm, so you kind of have to relax a little bit and switch hands and go from your left hand to your right hand. And I found myself walking around No Lake and doing some hiking around here that I was definitely switching around quite a bit. So the next day, I ended up putting the 22mm pancake lens on here, and oh my God, what a difference it was. I took a hike down probably 45 minutes down the road, and it was nothing. I was throwing this thing around like crazy. So one of the last features that I want to talk about are the two 1/4 20 holes right here. You can attach microphones, lights, monitors to this if you need to. So depending upon your style and what you want to do, that's definitely there for you to use or to utilize if you want. So here are my final thoughts. 1, get a ball head. The tripod thread makes it really easy to put on. You're all set, ready to go. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this on there and go for a walk and give you my final thoughts with the 22mm lens, not the Sigma. All right, so my final thoughts on the Switchpod. After having it for 2 weeks, I realized that I'm gonna take off my Joby ball head and put it on here. It's gonna make it much better. And I wouldn't say that this is a Joby killer. I think that this is just another tool in your arsenal to help you, be a better creator. And since Caleb created this, it was made by creators for creators, I think he did a really good job. I have an affiliate link down below, so if you want to pick one of these up, I'll get a little commission for it. And I think one of the last things that I need to talk about is how you assemble this. Having the Sigma on here, there was definitely a lot of weight, and when you flip it out and set it down into tripod mode from vlog mode, you want to make sure that you have that front leg supported, so that lens that you have on there is over the top of the lens, or over the top of the leg. So I've got my Moment lens attached to my Pixel 2 XL. So let me go ahead and show you what that looks like. So as you're holding this thing out in front, if you notice that the lens is going to be directly over the legs themselves. And this looks a little bit different when you have a larger lens on there, but just make sure that when you attach it, the lens is facing the legs. So when you do flip it out, it will be supported by that front leg, especially if you have any weight on there. So again, final thoughts. I gotta say I like it a lot. Other than just putting the ball head on it, Caleb, you did a great job. I think that's gonna do it. Links are in the description. Moment lenses, if you wanna pick them up, or any kind of accessory, I have those links as well. The only two affiliate links I have are Moment and now Switchpod. So if you wanna buy anything, it would help me out a little bit. I've yet to make any money on YouTube at all. I'm still kind of doing all this for fun. So give me a like, give me a thumbs up, share this if you know anybody that wants to pick one of these things up, or if you think they're interested in it. Put that notification bell on. And if you see that link down on the bottom here and you're not a subscriber, why don't you go ahead and click on that? That'd help me out a whole lot. I think that's gonna do it for my 3-day weekend up on the rim. I'll see you guys in the next one.